Hi friends, welcome back. Want to give you an update on the stock market, the economy, and Nvidia. So let's just jump right in. So first, check this out. The dumb money poured into Nvidia ahead of its results. It could have been worse. And basically, there's a report that came out, and they can track the flow of money. There was a whole bunch of retail investors that were taking big bets on Nvidia ahead of earnings, and unfortunately, the bet didn't work out. I've been warning you guys about this for a while, and I understand. If you flip over to the majority of the channels on YouTube, they tell you, guys, this is the early innings of Nvidia. AI is everywhere. It's going to be everywhere forever. And Nvidia is going to make money to infinity. They have a monopoly, et cetera, right? That's what people tell you. Unfortunately, though, this is just very real. Expectations get very, very high, and it gets harder and harder for Nvidia to meet expectations. And then their forecast came out. Their chips are going to be delayed, and also, too, competition is coming. So that's up with Nvidia. You can see here in the market, Nvidia was down 6% today. Some stocks were up though. Actually, a majority of stocks were up, but because Nvidia is such a large portion of our market these days, it may be dragging down your portfolio. And this is also a good reminder too that don't put all your eggs in one basket. I know that's what happens to many retail investors. You get into market, you're like, hey, what's the hottest stock to buy? You do a Google search, it sends you to the Hypey YouTube channel, and they say, hey, Nvidia, early innings, look, it's gone up 2,000%, and look how awesome this stock has been in the last year or so. It's going to keep going, right? And it kind of, I guess logically that makes sense, but the way this game is played is buy low, sell high. Unfortunately, retail investors are often the opposite, is buy at the top and keep buying. I know it's not very nice, but that's just what it is. This is actually an interesting chart that sort of represents that. So when retail money, and this is looking at Tesla and Nvidia, when retail money was peaking into Tesla, that was at the very, very top. You can see this chart here. So this this is the red line tracks retail money into Tesla, and then the green line tracks retail money going into Nvidia. So when retail investors stopped buying Tesla, guess what? They switched over to Nvidia, and that's been the hypey thing. And it's interesting because the report said that at the time when, say, Tesla was at its peak, for every dollar that a retail investor was putting into the market, 30 cents was going to Tesla. So that was just telling me that many retail investors were way, way, way overweighted in just like one or two stocks. And this is how you get burned. Now, it doesn't mean that the AI hype is going to go away, forever. Evidently, Nvidia, Microsoft, and Apple are looking to invest into OpenAI. Whether or not this makes these companies a tons of money remains to be seen. Apple, they're coming out with their new products. I think it's September 9th, so it's like a week from now, something like that. And they're trying to get you to buy, I think they're calling it Apple Intelligence, which is their AI. But, it's just going to be kind of like, how can I say, going to write text messages for you, help you write emails, these kind of things. So, whether or not that's popular, we'll see. There's been rumors that they're going to try to charge you money for this thing, maybe $20 a month or whatever. I don't think necessarily it'll be baked into the price of the phone, but we won't know. I think when you get these leaks, they're trying to get a sense of what people are willing to pay them. I know ChatGPT has a subscription service. I don't subscribe to it. I don't really use it, to be really frank, so it's not for me. But I do know that on YouTube, there's all these channels out there trying to tell you that ChatGPT is your sort of gateway to easy riches and easy money. I mean, I see it, guys. There's a ton out there of like, hey, how can you use ChatGPT to make $100 a day? That kind of stuff. Whether or not, OpenAI is being this massive, company, we'll see. I will say though, when OpenAI goes public, I wouldn't doubt that it does one day. It'll probably be a blockbuster IPO, and we'll be talking about it. The one thing with the OpenAI thing though that will be interesting is if their search engine ends up being the real deal. We'll see. So right now, you guys know Google has a dominance in that. But Google's not the only company out there. I can tell you here in Korea, Naver is really, really popular. Or if you were to go, say, China, Baidu. And then I can't speak to other countries. I'm not sure, like, for example, in the Middle East, if they have a search engine that they prefer, or, maybe a place like Africa. I just don't know. And there's a lot of countries in the world and continents out there. But I can tell you that Google is the leader. And, we'll see if OpenAI does challenge them. Also going on with the economy today, this was kind of an interesting one. There was a revision to the GDP to the upside. So the early GDP was like 2.8, now it's 3. And I was looking at the numbers here, and it was largely due to, it was right here, consumer spending. So I guess the first read was 2.3%, and then now it's like growing 2.9%. But I think this might be inflation because they were saying here, right here, yeah, it says the leading contributors were increased outlays for healthcare, housing, utilities, and recreation. So when someone says, "Hey guys, GDP's up, everything's great," and I look at this, I'm like, that could be inflation. So I'm not sure if that's necessarily a good thing that we're spending more money on healthcare, housing, utilities, and recreation. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But what I can tell you though is that I think a lot of consumers are struggling. I saw this report. This is coming from Dollar General. And essentially, we'll read the headline together. It says, Dollar General warns poor U.S. consumers are running out of money. This is what you have to do if you want to really understand the market is you look at the overall trends, right? What are people talking about? What's going on? You look at the leaders, and also too, you look at individual companies because like each individual company adds up all together, gives you a story of the market and the economy. So in the situation of Dollar General, their earnings are actually quite interesting. They said a couple things. So they said at the end of the month of every month of their sales starts to go down because essentially their customers start running out of money basically. The other issue is like they're saying that their consumers is very fragile, and they feel like how can I say they're spending money like on food and stuff like that, but they're not spending money on clothes and things. So I guess Dollar General has like a general amount of products there. That's why they call it Dollar General. The other thing too I thought was fascinating is that I guess Walmart and Target are not struggling quite as much as Dollar General. And that could just be maybe there's just less money out there and maybe everyone's consolidating over to those stores. Or there's another one, the upper end consumer is actually trading down and they're shopping more at Walmart. So you might have some consolidation there, but I can't speak much to Dollar General. Just I'll be pretty frank, I don't think I've ever even been in one, but I do know there's a lot of them that was saying there's like 2,000 of these stores around. So when Dollar General gives you a warning, that gives you a general sense of like, how that part of the economy is struggling. And there's another store that was actually related to that, which is Big Lots. I've never been into Big Lots before. I think this might be a Midwestern chain. I just haven't been this one. So if you guys have any comment on this, you can let me know. But it says here, Big Lots is considering bankruptcy after sales slump. So you have sort of bad news from Dollar General, now Big Lots. It looks like this kind of store. I just don't know. And then I was looking at their website here, and it was kind of strange. They sell furniture and they sell Doritos. So I don't know what this is. I was like Doritos, and I don't know. And the one thing I will say about these kind of stores though is that I mean this is just for all these stores in general. From my personal experience, I just buy everything online these days. So that's just me. So like I think people are still going to shop no matter what, right? So I was going to say I think we really, really have to be worried if like suddenly Amazon says, "Hey guys, everyone's going bankrupt," then suddenly red flags are up everywhere. But I do know people are struggling. I just want to point this stuff out, guys. I recognize that people are struggling, and I don't want to laugh at people struggling. I was more just laughing at like I didn't know I could buy a sofa and Doritos at the same store. So that was the joke. But because I see these numbers here, and this is sort of why what's the best way to put it? Like I understand the sort of average person out there is looking for a second job, a second source of income, or even third source of income, a third job, and you're sort of like trying to figure out, where you can get that. And unfortunately, if you turn to YouTube, and this is just how it is, and I just want to warn you and make sure it's clear, there's a lot of sharks out there on YouTube that will say, "Hey, buy my $100 a month class, or buy my $500 a month course, and here's the coupon code, and I'll help you reach whatever goals that you want. You can be rich just like me." The thing is, like, those kind of people, they get rich off of selling you classes. That's just the reality of it. And if you really want to be successful, I'm just telling the truth in this stuff, guys. You want to have job skills that people give you money for, right? And you always want to keep upgrading your skills, and you also want to be building relationships so that you can always have a place to go. Essentially, how this game is played is that when your friends get a job at whatever company, or they even start their own company, the first thing that they do is they start looking around for good people. And you want to be one of those people that they first call, because it's like, "Hey, I'm looking for good people. I know you're a good person. Come over and work with me." And that's just how this game is played. And unfortunately, though, there's a lot of people that don't want to play that kind of game, don't want to play the relationship game. But that's just the game. That's how this stuff works. And don't ever give up, because there's always going to be need for someone who's good work and someone who has the ability to always be learning. So that's something that I try to emphasize on this channel. And hopefully this stuff is helpful for you. And I like to hanging out with you guys in the community and talking about what's going on. So I do appreciate your time, everyone. Please be careful out there, and catch you in the next video.